Welcome to the new episode of the Cyber Threats Radar podcast. Today we're embarking on a really crucial deep dive. We're looking at a cybersecurity threat that's not just growing, but it feels like it's evolving constantly: ransomware. And specifically, we're zeroing in on a target that cyber criminals find particularly attractive: managed service providers, or MSPs. Now, if you run a business, doesn't matter if it's big or small, chances are you rely on an MSP for your IT. Or maybe you are an MSP, juggling security for lots of clients. Either way, understanding this ransomware landscape, well, it isn't just important. It feels absolutely vital, right? For survival, peace of mind, everything.
That's exactly right. And that's our mission for this deep dive. We want to pull back the curtain, really unpack why MSPs have become such, high-value targets. We'll look at the best ways to build strong defenses, multi-layered ones, what steps you absolutely need to take if an attack happens, and crucially, how MSPs can really empower their clients against these threats. We're sharing insights, approaches straight from our work here at Spin.AI using the latest cybersecurity findings.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Start at the beginning. When we talk ransomware, most people picture maybe one company getting hit. But MSPs, they seem different, like they're magnets for these attacks. Why is that? What makes an MSP such a prime target?
It really boils down to leverage. I mean, think about it like this. An MSP isn't just managing one door lock. They basically hold the master key, to an entire building full of different offices. They've got administrative access, they manage critical data, they oversee the IT for maybe dozens, sometimes even hundreds of different clients. So for a cyber criminal breaching just one MSP, well, that gives them potential access to a huge portfolio of businesses. It just multiplies their potential payoff exponentially.
Wow, okay, that makes perfect sense. It's not just one victim, it's this potential cascade. One breach at an MSP could, theoretically, lock up all their clients at once, disrupting so many businesses. So for you listening, whether you rely on an MSP or you are one, this really hits home how important their security strategy is. Your data, your operations, your reputation, it's all tied together.
Exactly, and that's why we always stress, there's no single silver bullet here. It just doesn't exist for ransomware. These attacks are sophisticated, so you need a really comprehensive, multi-layered defense. It's not just about a firewall anymore. It's about blending strong policies, proactive monitoring, and absolutely a resilient backup strategy.
Right, backups. You mentioned backups. People often call them the last line of defense, but with ransomware, that line needs to be like rock solid, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what makes a backup strategy truly ransomware proof?
Yeah, rock solid is a good way to put it. The core idea is immutability. That's the key term. It means your backups are stored so that ransomware, or even, say, a malicious insider, simply cannot change them, can't encrypt them, can't delete them. Think of it like a read-only copy that attackers just can't mess with. Beyond that, the classic 3-2-1 rule still holds true. Keep 3 copies of your data, store them on 2 different types of media, and make sure at least 1 copy is offsite or, safely in the cloud. But here's the thing many people miss, especially with modern ransomware. Immutability isn't just a nice to have anymore. It's absolutely non-negotiable. We've seen attackers specifically go after backup systems. If they aren't truly immutable, they corrupt them, and your recovery plan, gone. It's a huge failure point. Solutions like Spin Backup, for example, they're built for this. They don't just store data. They actively look for ransomware signs in the cloud, block the attack source, identify exactly which files got hit, and then alert admins right away. But the real kicker is the automated recovery. It can restore damaged files granularly without needing someone to step in manually. That means near zero downtime. And we offer a 2-hour ransomware recovery SLA. That's speed, that automation. It's critical when you're under attack.
Automated, fast recovery. Yeah, that sounds like a game changer when things go wrong. But obviously the best plan is to stop it from happening at all. So let's move upstream. Preventing breaches. What's the latest thinking on endpoint protection?
Endpoint protection has definitely had to evolve because the threats have. Your traditional antivirus software, it mostly relies on known signatures, like matching fingerprints. It's just, well, it's not enough anymore. It's like trying to catch a brand new criminal using an old wanted poster. You really need modern endpoint detection and response, or EDR. These systems use AI, machine learning, behavioral analysis. They actively watch for suspicious activity. They can spot new unknown threats, even fileless attacks, in real time. So they're stopping attacks before they spread, not just reacting to known bad stuff. They look for weird behavior, not just known signatures.
Okay. And what about securing access generally? I keep hearing zero trust security. What does that actually mean day to day? How does it help stop ransomware?
Zero trust.
Yeah, it's a big shift in thinking. Instead of assuming everything inside your network is safe, the basic idea is never trust. always verify.
Mhm.
So every user, every device, doesn't matter if they're inside or outside the network perimeter, they have to be constantly authenticated and authorized before they get access to anything. In practice, that means things like mandating multi-factor authentication MFA everywhere, that extra code or prompt beyond just your password. It also means limiting admin rights. People should only have the access they absolutely need for their job, nothing more. And really strict identity checks, especially for remote access. By constantly verifying, you massively shrink the places an attacker can get in or move around. Makes it way harder for ransomware. It's funny how sometimes the simplest things are still so important, but maybe easy to overlook, like keeping software updated. That's still huge, right?
Oh, absolutely huge. System updates and
Yeah.
patch management, they're completely non-negotiable. Unpatched vulnerabilities, they're like leaving your front door wide open with a sign saying, come on in, hackers actively scan for these. So having a robust, ideally automated patching process is just essential. You have to close those security gaps fast. It's a constant race.
And then there's the human element. We have all this tech, but people are involved. And let's be honest, that's often where things can go wrong.
You're absolutely right. So many ransomware incidents start with something simple, like a phishing email. And attackers are getting really good, crafting emails that look incredibly real. That's why ongoing training for employees is just as vital as the tech. Teaching people to spot suspicious messages, emails, texts, even phone calls sometimes. People are often the weakest link, unfortunately. But if you empower them with knowledge, teach them the red flags, that strengthens your whole defense posture significantly. I remember this one case. An attacker perfectly spoofed the CEO's email, sent a message to finance asking for an urgent wire transfer, looked totally legit, but the finance person, they remembered specific training about spotting unusual urgency, so they double-checked through another channel. Boom, major incident averted, just because of that trait.
Okay, so you've got all these layers: backups, EDR, zero trust, patching, training. But let's say, despite everything, ransomware does get through. A breach happens.
Right.
What does a good incident response plan actually look like in that moment?
Yeah, and that's why the plan is so critical. Because even with the best defenses, breaches can happen. You absolutely have to know what to do, and speed is everything.
All right, systems are hit, clock's ticking. What's the very, very first thing you do?
First thing, isolate the infection immediately. Stop it from spreading. That means physically disconnecting affected machines from the network if you have to, shutting down compromised user accounts, maybe even isolating whole network segments. Containment is step one. Then, right away, you need to assess the scope. How bad is it? Which systems are hit? What data might be compromised? How far has it spread? And at this point, honestly, unless you have a dedicated internal team, you should be contacting a cybersecurity incident response firm or a specialist ransomware team. They have the expertise to figure out if decryption is possible without paying. And this is really important. If you have those good immutable backups we talked about, your goal should always be to restore your systems without paying the ransom. Paying doesn't guarantee you get your data back. Sometimes the key doesn't work, where they just take the money and run. And maybe more importantly, paying just encourages them. It funds their next attack, maybe against someone else.
Right. And for an MSP, this situation is, well, it's intense. Beyond just fixing the tech, there's that whole client relationship aspect, isn't there?
Right.
Trust, communication.
Oh, absolutely critical. Immediate, transparent communication with clients is non-negotiable. You have to tell affected clients what's happened, what you're doing about it, what the expected timeline is, even if you don't have all the answers yet. Silence. Or delaying the bad news, that can destroy trust much faster than the attack itself.
Okay, so you get through the crisis,
Mm.
systems are restored. What then? Just back to business as usual?
Definitely not. You absolutely must do a thorough post-mortem analysis. This isn't about pointing fingers. It's about learning. How did the ransomware get in? What vulnerability was exploited? Was something misconfigured? What can we do differently to stop this specific thing from happening again? Learning from it is how you get stronger. You turn that crisis into, well, an opportunity to improve resilience.
That flows perfectly into the next big area.
Yeah.
How do MSPs actually protect their clients? Because like we said, many businesses just don't have that in-house expertise. That's why they hire an MSP.
Yeah, it's a fundamental part of the MSP's job. And one of the biggest impact areas is ongoing security awareness training for the client's employees. We keep coming back to phishing because it's just such a huge entry point. Regular training helps. And running simulated phishing tests, that really reinforces good habits, lets employees practice spotting fakes in a safe way. It's amazing how much difference even one good training session can make.
Okay, training is key. What about the technical side? What strict policies should MSPs be pushing out to client networks?
Yeah, applying strict security policies across the board is crucial. Things like mandatory multi-factor authentication for all users on the client side, making sure remote access is locked down tight with strong protocols, and enforcing license privilege, limiting those powerful administrative rights. Basically, you want to limit the potential blast radius if something does go wrong. Less access means less damage.
So it's about constant proactive checking too, not just setting policies and forgetting them.
Exactly. Consistent security assessments and penetration testing for clients are vital. These are proactive checks to find weaknesses before the bad guys do. It gives the client a chance to fix things, harden their systems. It's kind of like hiring ethical hackers to test your defenses before the real criminals try.
And circling back one more time,
Yeah.
reliable, ransomware-proof backups for those clients. That has to be non-negotiable. Yeah.
100% non-negotiable. If a client doesn't have a solid backup and disaster recovery plan, the MSP needs to implement one
And
and make sure it's immutable. Without those reliable, truly ransomware-proof backups, clients are just incredibly vulnerable, facing potentially irreversible data loss or feeling like they have to pay the ransom, which, again, we strongly advise against.
okay, this all sounds comprehensive, which is good, but it also sounds like it could be a significant investment.
Mm.
Some clients might push back, right? Is this really necessary? How do MSPs get that buy-in?
That's a common challenge. The key is to make the risk real for them, not just talk about abstract threats. MSPs need to clearly explain the potential consequences. Catastrophic data loss, yes, but also massive operational downtime. Imagine their business stopping for days or weeks, plus potential regulatory fines, lawsuits, and the huge damage to their reputation. Using real-world examples helps. Maybe anonymize stories of similar businesses that didn't prioritize security and suffered badly. Lost clients, maybe even went under. When clients grasp the tangible impact on their specific business, they're usually much more willing to invest in proper security. It's also where having integrated platforms can help streamline things. For instance, at Spin.AI, our Spin platform brings together several key functions. You get SOS security posture management, that's Spin SPM for visibility and response. Then there's SOS data leak prevention and data loss protection Spin DLP to keep sensitive data safe. And SOS ransomware detection and response Spin RDR for that automated protection and recovery we talked about. It makes managing security more holistic. Plus, showing compliance certifications helps build trust. Things like SOC 2 Type 2, that means auditors have verified our security processes. Or PCI DSS if they handle credit cards. GDPR for European data, CSA star, these show a commitment to security standards. Our own research helps too. Like when Spin.AI uncovered the redirection browser extension campaign affecting 14.2 million users. Understanding those real-world attack vectors helps us and our clients stay ahead.
All right, so bringing this all together for our listeners, let's quickly hit some of those key takeaways again. That big question first. Paying the ransom, yes or no?
Absolutely no. We really have to hammer this home. It doesn't guarantee you get your data back, and it funds criminals. If you have good immutable backups, restoration is the path, period.
And those backups, how often do they really need to be tested? Is setting them up enough?
No, setting them up isn't enough. You have to test them regularly. At least once a month is a good baseline. You need to know they work. Finding out your backups are corrupted during a real attack, that's the worst case scenario. Testing builds confidence.
Okay, phishing. Such a common way in. What's the best defense against that? Is it tech or training?
It's really both. You need strong AI-powered email filters at the gateway to catch most of it, but some sophisticated attacks will still get through. So you also need consistent, engaging user training so people can spot those and report them. Simulated phishing tests are great for practice. It's a combo approach.
Got it. And finally, MFA, multi-factor authentication. We said it's crucial. Is it a silver bullet? Can it stop ransomware all by itself?
MFA is fantastic for stopping unauthorized access. It's a huge step up from just passwords, definitely crucial. But no, it's not a silver bullet on its own. Attackers are clever. They can still exploit unpatched software or use really advanced social engineering to sometimes trick people into approving an MFA prompt. So MFA is critical, yes, but it has to be part of that bigger multi-layered strategy we've been talking about.
This deep dive really paints a clear picture. Ransomware is a serious, evolving threat, especially for MSPs and everyone who relies on them. But the good news, I think, is what we've discussed. With the right preparation, these multi-layered defenses, solid incident response plans, and it's just constant vigilance, you can significantly reduce that risk. Prevention really is better than cure here.
And maybe that leaves us with a final thought for everyone listening. This raises an important question. Consider not just the technology, the firewalls, the EDR, but also think hard about the human element. in your own organization or in your clients' organizations? How truly vigilant are you consistently across all those layers, from the cloud down to the endpoint, right down to that individual employee deciding whether or not to click a link? It's a holistic challenge, needs constant attention.
A really powerful thought to end on. That covers a lot of ground. Thank you for listening. Stay safe.